It's me, Little Bruce Gamer, back again with another great show. Some people say that gaming takes away social interaction, being on your phone or your console instead of playing face-to-face with your friends. I think both are very important. On this show, I have a special guest to help me talk about this. It's my associate producer, Javen Cannon. He's older but really cool. Let's see what he's got to say about what games he played when he was growing up. Now, let's go retro on Little Bruce Gamer.
Yeah. We be gaming, breaking down what you want. Little big gaming is a game and a song. Oh, game on, game on. We be gaming, breaking down what you want. Little big gaming is a game and a song. Oh.
Hello, fellow gamers. Allow me to welcome my friend Javen. Hi.
What's up, man?
Nothing. How about you?
Hey, man, I'm great. I'm happy to be on the show. I'm always behind the show. Now I'm on the show. Pretty cool.
Well, the first topic has a social interaction.
Okay.
Been taken away from the console. I think that consoles are better because you can play with your friends worldwide.
That's interesting. The game console and the advancement of the console has definitely made it easier for people to connect in different places that wouldn't been able to. The internet has definitely helped connectivity for gamers as well.
What kind of games did you and your friends play when you were little?
Well, we played a lot of, when I was growing up, the video games wasn't as big as they are now. I'm not that old. I'm only like in my early 20s. But in those days, we had small things like I used to play my older brother's Nintendo 64. Dreamcast was probably the biggest game system out at the time. And I was actually around when the oldest, or like the original PlayStation came out. Yeah, I'm pretty old, man. I know, PlayStation 1. They didn't even call it 1 because there was no other PlayStation back in that time.
My dad had the original PlayStation. I have one. I have a PS Portable, and I think I have a PS2.
Okay, all right. Well, what was like the first game system you was introduced to?
Game system, the first ever console I had was Xbox.
Okay.
First ever really electronic I had was my phone.
Was your phone?
When I was 4.
Now, do you notice a big difference? Because I think you said your first one was the Xbox. Since then, it's been like the PlayStation 2, the Xbox One, and different variations. What do you think the best game console is that you personally played on?
Original PlayStation.
The original See, my type
nostalgia days.
Oh man, wow. How old are you? Never mind, we'll talk about it later. Okay, so since we're talking about game consoles and stuff like that, I actually have brought in a surprise for you. Have you ever seen one of these things, my friend?
No.
Yeah, me neither until I saw one. It's called the Miss Pacman machine. These are kind of reminiscent of the old arcade games. That's even back before my time. It's probably like your dad's and my dad's time. They used to have to go to arcades and they used to have to play a lot of very simplistic games like Pacman and Galaga, where you just move the stick and press a button. And I was gifted one of these, so I brought one of these into your show because I know you're a super cool gamer. And I wanted to see if you could all your new age games will be able to compare to the old one. So I think I can beat your butt in this.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure I can beat your butt in this.
Though that thing looks very easy to use. A joystick and 2 buttons.
Yeah, but it's a really big button on here, and the big button does really big things. But so how about we just get into some gameplay and like put your money where your mouth is? How about that?
Okay.
So I'm gonna start first, and I'm gonna go to the classic Miss Pacman, and I guarantee you that I can beat you in this game. Ready?
Mm-hmm. But I guarantee I can beat you on Xbox.
Maybe, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
True.
So as what do you notice about this game as you're playing it? Does it look?
The graphics. I immediately when the machine turned on, I noticed how old the graphics look and how, like, I don't know a correct word for it. But
see, I wouldn't necessarily call it old. I would call it like original and retro is what the words I would call it. This is actually, I think I was a kid when my grandparents first got this game for me. They got it for me like as a Christmas gift or whatever. But this is still like a relatively newer age version of these games. Like if we were go to the arcade, okay, I lost it. Okay, this is not like my best showing ever. Like I'm kind of losing right now, but it's okay. But I'm also trying to conduct an interview. Have you got a chance to play a lot of old games? What about some of your dad games? Have you ever taken you to a blast in class and let you play some games he played?
I mean, all we have now in our days is Dave and Buster's. They've taken out all the old arcades and stuff.
Oh yeah, cool. Now, are you good at Pac-Man, or was you just talking junk to me because you feel like you're a young whippersnapper and I'm too old to be good at it?
I am pretty good at Pac-Man.
All right, well, how about you? Let's see what you got on it. How about that then? Your turn. I did pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's not reflective of who I am as a person. How does the controls feel to you?
I'm pretty used to having a joystick like this because, of course, I go to the arcade.
Oh, really?
I mean, not arcade, Dave and Buster's. Can't really call it.
So you're at Dave and Buster's. Wow, oh, that was pretty good. Wow, that was it was almost pretty good, but you got a little too carried away. See, what you died based off my mistakes, so I'm gonna start you off on a new game, because that was kind of my game that you was finishing off. Have you had a chance to play Mr. Pac-Man, or just Pac-Man?
Yeah, I have Mr. Pac-Man or Pac-Man on my Xbox.
Okay. Now, what made you download those games? Were you just looking for old games to play? I don't think
I had a $20 gift card and I didn't know what to buy.
So you went and bought Pac-Man. See, a lot of kids their age wouldn't necessarily go for the classics like this. So I'm pretty impressed. And you're doing a pretty good job, and I don't like it.
Most of the kids in my friends group like old school retro games.
You see how, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm actually wearing a Pacman hoodie, so it's not actually a good thing that you're beating my butt like this while I'm wearing a Pacman hoodie. I'm letting the brand down. I'm sorry about that, good people at Pacman. Yeah.
I see that it's super hard, like on a joystick, there's something called a dead zone, and I have a very light dead zone on my controller.
Oh, see, I'm not familiar. What's a dead zone? Break down the term dead zone.
So I have an Xbox. When I play other video games, it's like, dead zone is basically meaning how far, like how much you have to touch your controller until it moves, and I just have to slightly touch my controller.
So basically like controller sensitivity. Like the
yes,
sensitivity
basically like that.
Got you. See, I noticed that too, and it might have been because I just get angry a lot, and sometimes I've had to, like slam the joystick a few times. But it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Things happen. And you are really good at this, and I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. Okay, so, well, it looks like even still you kicked my butt. You got a little farther than I did on the Pac-Man machine. But I feel like I could beat your butt in PlayStation. Not PlayStation, on the Xbox. Even though I didn't on the one I brought in, but Xbox is kind of more of my time. Even though that was your first game console, that was also like my first personal one. So let's see about that. How about we go to a break and then we come back and I beat you on Xbox? What do you think about that?
Okay, but not beating me on Xbox.
Okay, well we'll see. Throw us a break and then we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay, anyways, we're gonna go on a quick commercial break. Remember, stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
All right, and I'm gonna tell you about this. I'm gonna see what this controller looking like.
Game on. Game on. We be gaming, breaking down what you want. Little big gaming is agreement and a song.
Before the last break, my friend Javen challenged me to an old school gaming showdown with the classic game Miss Pac-Man. Little did Javen know, I always keep a trick up my sleeve, and I surprised him with a modern version of Pac-Man on my new Xbox. Let's see if this old dog can adjust to a new trick.
I'm the old dog. That's me. Oh, all right. Okay. You got jokes. You don't know who I am. Watch this. Watch this. Like I don't know my way around the Xbox or something. Now I do enjoy the fact that this game comes with the cool, super cool Pac-Man background. Like this is very nostalgic and kind of taking me back to old arcade video game vibes. But this is also motivating me to kick your butt.
Okay.
Yeah, you see this? I'm about to get through this whole game and level without losing a life after I lose this one, because I just lost it. But when I get back, I'm not gonna do that no more.
Okay, let's see.
I'm also noticing that the joysticks are and the controls. What was that thing that you called the dead zone?
Dead zone.
Yeah, this is has a very light dead zone, so I'm getting around these corners very smoothly, more smoothly than on the joystick. What was your first game? Do you remember?
On Xbox?
Yeah, your first game ever.
My first game ever. Real Racing 2.
Okay.
I love racing games.
I'm not familiar with that. Okay, so it's a racing game. Is it like a cartoony racing game, or like a Super Mario Bros, or is it like a real hardcore racing game?
Hardcore racing game,
Okay.
real cars.
See, I'm actually, it took me a long time. I was actually about 2 months ago before I got good at racing games. So I'm glad we're not doing that, because you would definitely beat me in all sorts of racing games. Anything good to do with racing. I think I remember my first game probably came on a Game Boy. It was the Timmy Turner Fairly Odd Parents game. It was very intense. I lost a lot of sleep messing around with that game. Now, did you ever have a Game Boy?
My dad just got me one.
Oh, really? Just for nostalgia's sake, just because you wanted a Game Boy?
No, because I knew I was going to play on it.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
Once I learned how to set it up, which I'm not going to tell you how much time it took me.
I'm not gonna tell you that I just lost this game, but I just lost this game. I'm gonna pass the controllers over to you, because maybe you do know a little more about this game and stuff than me, but I think not. So let's see how far you get.
Okay.
See how hard it is to conduct the interview while playing the game. So I'm noticing that you're just using the one finger technique to show me up on the controller. You're not even gonna pretend like you're trying hard while you play the game. You're just gonna, okay, that's fine.
It's easier to play like this. I'm just saying.
You just saying what? What are you saying, little Bruce?
It's easier to play with one hand playing
Okay,
with Pacman.
so that's what I was doing wrong. I was too focused. Okay. I see what you're
The only
saying.
games you use two hands with is games that you're gonna sweat in.
So this is no sweat to you. Okay. My hands happen to be a little sweaty. I'm gonna just wipe them off. Maybe it was me. Now, as you're playing this, what do you notice about the controls being different? I noticed you were saying it's easier, but how much easier?
Barely, because I still have to move my joystick.
Now, do you think if this was like the only type of games, this was as hard as video games were, do you think you would be as big as a gaming fan as you are now? Or?
Yeah, I would still be big as a gaming fan as I.
It looks like I might make it a little farther than you did, Bruce.
Maybe.
It looks like I beat you on the Xbox. Let's see. You have a few more, but I think I actually did it. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
1-1.
Apologize to me.
I'm sorry for calling you
Okay.
an old dog.
All right. Thank you. So I beat you on your game system, and like you beat me on my game system. So I guess there's some things we can learn from each other, huh? Now, which one do you say is kind of harder to play between the newer one or the older one? You think it's harder to play the one on Xbox? Really? How come?
Because you have a whole controller, and then you have to go like this.
Well, you don't have to. I think that was just you trying to show me up and show that you're a way better gamer than me. But it's okay. The two-hand approach was kind of good for me. I personally think that this one is harder just because the dead zone that you taught me about is a lot more sensitive on that. So turning around the corners is a lot easier. And I think for an old game like Pacman, that's what kind of makes it difficult, is maneuvering around the corners.
Yep.
Well, man, it was really fun playing with you.
Really fun too.
And you know what, Bruce? I was thinking, since we're tied 1-1, I beat you on the game that you brought in, and you beat me on the game I brought in. What if we had a day of this and, went somewhere to settle this tie?
Like Dave and Buster's?
I like the way you think, Bruce. I like the way you think.
I bet I'd win basically all the games there against you.
There's only one way to find out, buddy.
Well, check this out. Hey guys, Little Bruce Gamer here. Today, we are in a parking lot right now with really cool spaces that are painted. Basically, I have this really cool electric scooter that my uncle gave me. I want to show you guys some of the stuff that I can do with it. Vroom, vroom. This amazing electric scooter. I love it. I never want to stop playing with it. Okay, so here's some safety tips. So if you're riding this in the dark, which I don't suggest you do, First of all, you can't ride this in the cold or it'll break. But if you're in the dark, double click this button and you'll get your flashlight to turn on. There are 2 modes on the scooter. The mode that I have on, you go 15. But if you click this once, you go the mode that goes 9. Click it again, you go 15. I suggest the only times you go 15 is if you have a parent guardian around. Anyways, Little Bruce Gamer out. Have a great day and stay positive. We're gonna go on a quick commercial break. Remember, stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
We be gaming, breaking down what you want. Little big gaming is a game and a song. Oh.
Now it's time for a segment that I like to call Dear Developers, but something different about this one is we're gonna do comparisons of both games. Usually it's a segment where I give developers tips on improving the game and my overall rating, but now I'm just gonna be doing a comparison and rating. I rate this game a 10 out of 10. I rate both of them. I rate the Xbox Pacman a 10 out of 10 and the old school Pacman a 10 out of 10. Comparing them, I say the old school one, the one on sticks, has a little bit worse graphics because the one on Xbox, I try and make their graphics look old. And the one on Xbox, you're really only using one button, and they should do stuff where you can use multiple buttons in the game. It's been a pretty eventful day. Join us next time for another show full of excitement and adventure. Little Bruce Gamer signing out.
Is a game and a song. Oh. Game on. Game on.